Okay, lesson 6 about the incorporation and organization of corporations. A promoter. What is a promoter? A promoter is a person or group of person who is instrumental in bringing about the formation and organization of a corporation. So the promoter is the person responsible for the creation of a corporation. So what are examples of promotional activities being undertaken by the promoter? Number 1 is discovery of a business opportunity. Number 2 is investigation and study of the business opportunity to determine whether it is economically feasible. Number 3, assembly. This involves the bringing together of necessary personal property and money required to start the business, as well as settling the detailed aspects of setting up the corporation itself. So ito yung mga activities ng isang promoter. Subscription contract. Ano yung subscription contract? A subscription contract is any agreement for the acquisition of an issued stock in an existing corporation or a corporation still to be formed, regardless of how the parties label the contract, like purchase. So when you say subscription contract, ito yung may isang individual na nag-signify na gusto niya mag-acquire ng an issued stock of a corporation. Whether ang corporation na yun is existing or still to be yet to be formed. Okay, yung magkakaroon ng contract ng corporation at saka yung individual na gusto mag-acquire ng unissued stocks. Ang tawag sa contract na yun ay subscription contract, kahit ano pang title ang nilagay doon sa kontrata nila. So subscribers are liable to the corporation for interest on all unpaid subscriptions from the date of subscription if required by the contract. Otherwise, the prevailing legal rates applies. So because subscription is a contract, lahat ng mga unpaid subscription pag hindi pa nabayaran, may interest. Okay? Ang interest is, number 1, kung ano yung nasulat sa contract. Number 2, kung wala, legal rate. Legal rate of interest. That is 12% per annum. So if payment is not made within 30 days from the specified due date, all stocks covered by the subscription become delinquent. So after 30 days from due date, ma-declare na delinquent yung stocks. Kailan ma-delinquent? Hindi doon sa due date, kundi 30 days after the due date pa, saka pa siya maging delinquent. Okay? So kung ang due date is December 31, hindi nagbayad, by January 30, magiging delinquent na yung unpaid subscribed stocks. Pre-incorporation subscription agreements. Ano ito? Ito yung mga subscription na habang binubuo pa ang corporation. Kaya siya pre-incorporation. So a subscription of shares in a corporation still to be formed is irrevocable for a period of at least 6 months from the subscription date. So hindi pwede bawiin within 6 months from subscription date. So kung January 1, nag-subscribe ka, hindi mo pwede i-revoke. Hindi mo pwede sabihin, ay, hindi ko na lang ituloy for the next 6 months yun. Bawal i-revoke. So that would be mga June 30. From January 1 to June 30, hindi pwede revoke if you subscribe in January 1. Revocation of the pre-incorporation subscription is only possible if all other subscribers consent thereto, or if the corporation fails to incorporate within the 6-month period or longer period stipulated. Okay, so pwede rin lang i-revoke kapag pumayag yung ibang subscriber. Or yung corporation hindi na complete yung incorporation niya within the 6-month period or a longer period na if the pag-usapan na mas mahabang period na more than 6 months. So no pre-incorporation subscription may be revoked after the articles of incorporation are submitted to the SEC. Okay, so pag nasubmit na articles of incorporation sa SEC, di pwede i-revoke yung subscription. Okay, kasi nga nasulat na rin yun doon sa articles. So in the context of closed corporations, agreements duly signed by all stockholders before incorporation survive the incorporation and remain valid and binding provided they are consistent with the articles of incorporation. Consideration for stocks. Ano daw pwede pambayad sa pag nag-subscribe ka ng stocks? Anong mga consideration? So stocks shall not be issued for consideration less than the par or issued price thereof. So lahat ng stocks may price. Pag sinabing no par, depende sa board kung magkano nila i-issue ang stocks. Pero meron din stocks na may par value. Ibig sabihin, ito yung sulat sa face ng stock kung anong value niya. Okay? So pagka with par value or issued price, hindi pwede bilhin ng below par. For example, stock has a par value of 100. Pag in-issue sa subscriber, ang payment must not be less than 100. Dapat pwede at par, 100 ang bayad or more, but not less than. Permitted consideration for the issuance of stocks include, of course, pwede pang bayad sa stocks ang cash. Ano pa? Tangible or intangible property, pwede rin pambayad. As received by the corporation and necessary or convenient for its use and lawful purposes. Valued fairly and equal to the par or issued value of the stocks. Pwede rin pambayad ang labor performed for or services actually rendered to the corporation. Okay? Pag meron kang nagawang trabaho sa corporation, hindi ka pa nabayaran, okay, tapos sinabi ng corporation, pwede stocks na lang pambayad sa'yo, pwede yun. Okay? Of course, kung papayag ka. Previously incurred indebtedness of the corporation, may utang sa iyo ang corporation. Pwede sabihin ng corporation, mag-stocks na lang pambayad ko sa iyo. Pwede yun, kung papayag ka. Okay? Amounts transferred from unrestricted retained earnings to stated capital. Yung unrestricted retained earnings, ito yung mga profits ng corporation na na-accumulate niya through the years. Pwede ba doon kunin pambayad? Pwede. Like in the case of stock dividends. Pwede yun. Outstanding shares exchanged for stocks in the event of reclassification and conversion, pwede rin. So yung existing shares ng mga stockholders, pwede rin yung pag-exchange for another stock in case na mayroong reclassification or conversion of stocks. Pwede rin pambayad ang shares of stock from another corporation. And such other generally accepted forms of consideration, pwede rin pambayad. Ano ang bawal na consideration for stocks? Number 1, shares of stocks shall not be issued in exchange for promissory notes or future service. Bawal yun. Kasi walang value at the time of exchange. So if the consideration is other than cash or is intangible property ang binayad, the valuation is initially determined by the stockholders or the board of directors, but it is subject to the approval of the SEC. Baka kasi sobrang baba ng value ng property compared doon sa na-subscribe na shares of stocks. Articles of incorporation, ano ito? Ang contents niyan is, ang Articles of Incorporation, ito yung document na pina-file sa SEC kapag ka nagbuo ka ng corporation. Ano ang contents? Number 1, nakasulat doon ang name of the corporation. The specific purpose or purposes of the corporation. Kung ano ang purpose, bakit nabuo yung corporation. The place where the principal office of the corporation is located, which must be within the Philippines. Ano pa nakasulat doon? The term or number of years for which the corporation exists. Or if perpetual existence is not elected. Pag hindi nakasulat yung term, it is considered perpetual existence ang ina-applyan ninyo. Isulat din doon ang names, nationality, residence, and addresses of the incorporators. Sino nga yung incorporators? Ito yung mga individuals na nagbuo ng corporation. Isulat din sa articles, the number of directors, which is not more than 15, or in the case of board of trustees, sa mga trustees pala, it may be more than 15. Nakasulat din sa articles of incorporation ang names, nationalities, and residence addresses of the first directors of stock corporation and trustees in case of the non-stock corporation. Okay, for stock corporation, the authorized capital stock amount nakasulat sa articles, the number of shares, yung par value ng shares, the names and the details of the original subscribers, the amount subscribed, and the amount paid for the subscription, and a statement in case merong no par value shares. Okay, so nakasulat in case of a stock corporation, nakasulat kung magkano ang gusto nilang authorized capital. It may be 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Okay, and the number of shares and the par value. Example, ang authorized capital mo is 1 million pesos. And sabi niyo, ang par value, tig 1,000 ang isa. So, ilang number of shares yun? 1 million capital divide 1,000 na par value o magkakaroon ng 1,000 shares ang corporation. So, 1,000 shares times 1,000 par value equals 1 million authorized capital stock. In case of a non-stock corporation, dahil wala namang stock ang non-stock corporation, the amount of the capital and the names and details of contributors and the amount contributed by each contributor is indicated in the articles of incorporation. An arbitration agreement may be provided in the articles of incorporation. Ano itong arbitration agreement? It is an agreement na in case na may conflict sa corporation, hindi na idaan sa court, sa arbitration na lang. Pwede isulat doon sa articles of incorporation. Isulat din, undertaking by the incorporators to change the name immediately if another corporation has a prior right to its use or if it is declared non-distinguishable or contrary to law. Okay, nakasulat din, nag-promise ang incorporators na kapag may kaparehong pangalan, i-change agad nila yung pangalan ng corporation. For legitimate purposes, any provision or matter stated in the article of incorporation may be amended. Yun naman lahat pwede ma-amend, except lang yung mga pangalan ng original na incorporators. Isa yun sa mga hindi pwede amend. Hindi mo na ma-change ang panahon na sila yung nag-umpisa ng corporation. And then, if i-amend yung articles of incorporation, meaning may i-change ka, may idagdag, may ibawas. So, these amendments must be approved, number 1, by a majority vote of the board. And the vote or written assent of the stockholders representing 2/3 of the outstanding capital stock, or in case of non-stock corporation, 2/3 of its members. So, dalawang requirements sa amendment yung sa board of director, majority vote lang. But doon sa stockholders or members, dapat 2/3. At least 2/3. Hindi 2/3, kundi at least 2/3. Pwede sobra 2/3. But not less than 2/3. So, non-amendable items, ito yung mga items na hindi pwede i-change na nasulat sa articles of incorporation. Number 1 nga, yung identity and number of original incorporators kasi nga lumipas ng panahon, hindi mo na ma-change yan kung ilan yung tao at saka sino yung mga nag-umpisa ng corporation. Number 2, the names and number of the original incorporators and their respective subscription and paid up amounts kasi tapos na yan, nangyari na. Hindi na pwede i-change. Yung non-amendable items, these items or facts originally contained in the articles of incorporation generally cannot be amended because they relate to the accomplished facts of the corporation's formation, initial existence, and initial compliance. Kaya hindi sila ma-amend. All other items, pwede ma-amend. Corporate name and its limitations. So, anong pwedeng pangalan ng corporation? The SEC shall not allow the name of the corporation if it is not distinguishable from a name already received or registered for another corporation. So, hindi pwede pare-pareho ang pangalan ng mga ng bagong corporation sa existing corporation. Number 2, if the name is protected by law, hindi mo na pwede ipangalan sa corporation mo if na pangalan na sa iba and then protected by intellectual property rights. Number 3, if it is contrary to existing law and laws and regulation. A name is not distinguishable if it only contains generic words like corporation, company, incorporated, limited, or other abbreviations, or minor differences like punctuation, articles, conjunctions, spacing, or number changes of the word or phrase. So, hindi naman, if these words are used sa pangalan ng corporation, hindi pwede sabihin pareho ng iba. Kasi pwede naman kayo corporation lahat ang pangalan. May nakasulat na corporation, may nakasulat na company, incorporated, limited, and so on and so forth. The SEC may summarily order corporation to cease and desist from using a name deemed not distinguishable, protected by law and contrary to rules, and require the registration of a new one. Failure to comply can result in contempt, administrative, civil, criminal liability, or revocation of registration. Okay, so pwede orderan ng court na stop ang paggamit ng name if hindi siya distinguishable sa existing name, protected by law, or contrary to rules. Yung word na summarily dyan, ibig sabihin, pwede agad-agad, hindi na kailangan ng sobrang habang hearing. Summary lang, pwede na. Shortened na proceedings. A 1% corporation must indicate the letters OPC below or at the end of the corporate name. Okay. Yung mga ordinary na corporation sa dulo ng pangalan, pwede nakasulat corporation, pwede incorporated, pwede INC. Pero sa 1% corporation, ang isulat sa hulihan daw ng pangalan is OPC. Okay. Hindi INC, OPC. Okay. Pag nagpa-register sa SEC, ang unang titingnan is ang pangalan ng corporation. So, name verification muna tayo. Titingnan muna kung mayroong kapareho. A person or group desiring to incorporate must first submit the intended corporate name to the SEC for verification. So, ipakita mo muna, isubmit mo muna ang name ng corporation para ma-verify ng SEC kung okay ba o hindi kasi mayroon ng gumagamit or mayroong protected by law. And then, i-reserve. Pag na-determine na if the SEC finds the name distinguishable, not protected by law and lawful, the name is reserved para sa inyo na mag-a-apply pa lang. So mag-a-apply pa lang, i-reserve na yung pangalan after determining na walang kapareha yun. Submission. The incorporators then submit their articles of incorporation and bylaws. So unahin po na i-submit yung intended nyo na pangalan bago i-submit ang articles and bylaws. Pag nag-go signal na ang SEC, na-reserve na yung name. Saka pa lang mag-submit ng articles of incorporation and bylaws. Commencement of existence, kailan mag-umpisa ang existence ng isang corporation? The corporate existence and juridical personality commence pala from the date the SEC issues the certificate of incorporation under its official seal. Okay. Yung certificate of incorporation is different sa articles different din ito sa bylaws. Yung articles, ang dami-daming pages kasi maraming laman. Ang bylaws, marami din. By the way, yung bylaws, doon nakasulat yung mga rules na gusto nyo ipatupad sa corporation ninyo. Ito naman, certificate of incorporation, isang page lang ito. Parang birth certificate siya ng corporation. Dito nakasulat ang name, kailan siya na-approve ng SEC. Yung date na nakasulat doon, yun ang birthday ng corporation because that will be the date when the corporation is deemed to exist and its juridical personality commences from that date. And then after that is the election of board of directors. Election of directors pala or trustees in case of non-stock corporation. So nabuo na ang corporation, na-register na-approve na ng SEC, meron na kayong certificate of incorporation. Next is mag-elect na ng directors. The board of directors in case of a non-stock corporation has a term of 1 year, while the trustees for the non-stock corporation it's a term not exceeding 3 years. Okay, pwede rin 1 year, pwede 2 years, pwede 3 years, but not more than that. And the board of directors is the body that exercise the corporate powers. Take note ang corporate powers ng corporation is lodged with the board of directors, not with the stockholders. So si board of directors ang pinaka seat ng power ng corporation. Okay, ano ang eligibility ng mga directors? To be a director, person must be a holder of a stock. Of course, hindi ka pwede maging director ng isang corporation kung hindi ka naman stockholder. Okay, dapat kung sinong gustong tatakbong director, dapat stockholder siya ng corporation and yung stocks niya naka-register sa corporation books. Ibig sabihin, nalista siya doon na siya ang may-ari. While yung trustees naman sa non-stock corporation, dapat members sila ng corporation. Losing stock ownership or membership causes cessation of office. So kung director ka na, na-elect ka na, tapos binenta mo lahat ng stocks mo, or trustee ka na, pero na hindi ka na member ng corporation, automatic yun, mag-cease ka na from being a director or a trustee. Kasi na-disqualify ka na for violating the eligibility requirements. Quorum. Ano ibig sabihin ng quorum? The owners, the majority of the outstanding capital stock or a majority of the members entitled to vote must be present, whether in person, by proxy, or through remote communication in absentia. So majority ang quorum. Pag sinabing quorum, majority ng owners. In case of stock corporation, majority of the outstanding capital stock. In case of a non-stock corporation, majority of the members. Voting method, paano magboto ang mga stockholders sa stock corporation? Cumulative voting. Stockholders use cumulative voting. Ano yung cumulative voting? They may vote their shares as far as many persons as there are directors to be elected. Accumulate all shares for one candidate or distribute them, provided the total votes do not exceed the number of shares owned multiplied by the number of directors to be elected. And delinquent stock cannot be voted. So ano tong cumulative voting? For example, 5 director ang iboboto. Meron kang shares of stock na 100. So 100 shares ka. 5 ang ibobotong director. I-multiply yun. 100 stocks times 5 directors. So meron kang ilan? 100 times 5, you have 500 votes. Okay, ulitin ko. If you have 100 shares of stocks in your name, tapos mag-election ng board ng directors, may 5 ibobotong directors. So yung 100 shares of stocks mo times 5 na persons na positions pala na iboboto mo. So you have 500 votes. Yun ang cumulative voting. Yung 500 votes mo, pwede mo ibigay sa isang tao lang na gusto mo ibotohin. Pwede rin na spread out mo kay A, 100 votes, kay B, 100 votes, kay C, 100 votes, kay D, 100 votes, kay E, 100 votes din. O kung gusto mo sa isang tao lang, 500 votes kay E. O kung gusto mo 2 tao lang ang iboto mo, 200 ang ibigay mo kay A, kay B, 300. Basta not more than 500 ang total. That is cumulative voting in the case of stock corporations. So if you have more capital stocks or shares of stocks, mas malaki ang boto mo. So if you are a major stockholder, influential yung vote mo sa election of directors. So results. By the way, sa board of trustees naman, pag nag-election ng trustees is number of hands. ang bilang kasi wala naman silang stocks. So, walang cumulative voting sa Board of Trustees. Nominees receiving the highest number of votes shall be declared elected, of course. Report. The election results, pagkatapos ng election, including the names, details of the elected directors, trustees, and officers must be submitted to the SEC. Take note, within 30 days from election. So pagkatapos ng election, i-report ka agad sa SEC within 30 days. Okay? Or else may penalty. Adoption of bylaws. So yung contents ng bylaws, ito yun. The time, place, and manner of calling and conducting meetings. Whether board meeting or stockholders meeting. Nakasulat sa adoption of bylaws. Sa bylaws pala. The required quorum and manner of voting in meetings. Nakasulat din sa bylaws. The modes by which stockholders, members, directors, or trustees may attend meetings and cast votes. Okay. Mode of meetings, pwede online, pwede ad absentia, pwede by proxy. Okay, depende. Take note lang na hindi pwede dalawa kasi ang meeting. Meeting ng board at saka meeting ng stockholder. Okay, yung mga board of directors, bawal magpa-proxy. Kasi sila yung may power, di ba? Hindi pwede ipasa sa iba. Pero yung stockholders meeting, yung mga stockholder, pag nag-meeting yung mga stockholder, pwede naman sila mag-proxy, magpadala ng representative. But not board of directors in case of board of directors meeting. Ito pa nakasulat sa bylaws, qualifications, duties, responsibilities, and guidelines for compensating directors, trustees, and officers. Kung paano yung bayad nila. Sulat din sa bylaws ang time for the annual election of directors or trustees, the manner of election or appointment, and the term of office for officers other than directors or trustees. The penalties for violations of the bylaws. For stock corporation, nakasulat sa bylaws nila ang manner of issuing stock certificates. An arbitration agreement may also be included in the bylaws. Okay, katulad nung nasa articles, pwede rin isulat yun sa bylaws na in case may conflict, mag-agree na lang na mag-arbitration kaysa mag-file ng case sa court. Pwede sulat sa bylaws. Binding effects for the adoption of bylaws. Para maging binding yung bylaws, the affirmative vote of stockholders representing at least a majority of outstanding capital stock, or in case of a non-stock corporation, majority of its members. Take note. Number one, ang i-take note is anong kaibahan ng contents ng articles of incorporation sa contents ng bylaws. You must be familiar with that dapat. At saka, anong needed vote para mag-amend ng articles of incorporation, ano din ang needed vote pag adapt ng bylaws. Kasi sa bylaws kasi, majority lang ng outstanding capital stock. Whereas pag pa-amend ka ng articles, dapat majority ng board plus 2/3 of the outstanding capital stock. O kung non-stock naman is 2/3 of, at least 2/3 pala, at least 2/3 of the members. So the bylaws or any amendments thereto are effective only upon the issuance by the SEC of a certification that they are in accordance with the revised corporation code. So yung bylaws na pagkatapos butuhan na i-adapt, ipadala sa SEC, titingnan ng SEC kung nag-violate ba ng revised corporation code. If nakita ng SEC na hindi naman nag-violate, magsicertify siya na yung bylaws is in accordance with the revised corporation code. Yun pa lang yung time na magiging binding yung at effective yung bylaws ng corporation. Amendments. The bylaws may be amended or repealed or a new bylaws adopted basta majority of the board of trustees and the owners of at least a majority of the outstanding capital stock or majority of the members in case of non-stock corporation. So walang 2/3 dito. Alternatively, the owners of the 2/3 of the outstanding capital stock or 2/3 of the trustee members may delegate this power to amend, repeal, and adopt new bylaws to the board of directors or trustees. Take note, yung pag-amend ng bylaws, pag-change ng bylaws, pag-repeal, pag-adapt ng bagong bylaws, pwede sabihin ng stakeholders na ipasa na lang nila yung power na yun sa board of directors. Okay? Basta magboto sila na mag-agree, at least 2/3. Okay, walang ganito sa Articles of Incorporation. Sa bylaws ito. So this delegated power from the stockholders or the members to the board is automatically revoked if the stockholders members owning or representing a majority vote to revoke it. So pwede din i-revoke. The same requirement, majority. So ano magiging effect if hindi ginamit yung charter ng corporation? Ibig sabihin ng charter ng corporation na register na sa SEC, na approve na, meron na certificate of incorporation. May charter na yon. Ibig sabihin pwede na mag-operate as a corporation. What is the effect if hindi naman nag-operate or non-use of the corporate charter? Ito yun. Failure to organize and commence business. If a corporation does not formally organize, meaning hindi nag-eleksyon ng directors, or it failed to commence its business within 5 years from the date of incorporation, its certificate of corporation shall be deemed revoked as of the day following the end of the 5-year period. Ito automatic yung revocation. Hindi na kailangan ng SEC approval. 5 years pa nagtapos na ang 5 years, hindi pa rin nag-operate ang corporation, it is deemed revoked. Okay? Yung kanina, ano yun, hindi nag-start, failure to start the corporation. Ito naman continuous in operation or delinquent status. Nag-start yung corporation, nag-operate sila, tapos biglang nag-stop. Ito yun, continuous in operation. If a corporation has commenced its business, nag-umpisa, but subsequently becomes inoperative, hindi na nag-operate for a period of at least 5 consecutive years, 5 years, namatay yung corporation, hindi na nag-operate. The SEC may, after notice and hearing, ibig sabihin, padala ng notice yung mga board. Tapos hindi pa rin nag-respond. After 5 consecutive years in operation, after na notify sila, hindi pa rin nag-operate, the corporation will be placed under delinquent status. Tapos kapag delinquent na for a period of 2 years sobra, will cause the revocation of the certificate of incorporation. Okay, so take note, may dalawang number of years dito. Yung 5 years at saka 2 years. Yung 5 years, magsa-start yun pag stop ng corporation. Nag-operate ang corporation, nag-stop, bilang ka ng 5 years. After 5 years, okay, nag-notify ang SEC, bakit kayo hindi nag-operate? Tapos hindi pa rin nag-operate, the SEC will declare you to be under delinquent status. And then, pag yung delinquent status na ang corporation, tuloy-tuloy pa rin hindi nag-operate for another 2 years. Okay? Marirevoke ang certificate of incorporation. So that is what? The total of 7 years. So take note of the difference between the 5 years and the 2 years. That's the end of this lesson.